Okay. And good morning, everybody. It is Fabulous Friday featuring Adam Geheb. Now, this is going to be really interesting because, Adam, I met you for the first time yesterday.
That's correct.
We were introduced by, who introduced us?
Rick Brooks.
Rick Brooks. And then we said, and I said, and he said he needs to be on your StreamYard, on your video thing. So I said, okay. And then I said, I tell you what, let's not talk at all right now and meet each other. So we're going to do this completely organically. We really don't know very much about each other, Adam, and it's going to be quite interesting. So,
Yes.
Adam, tell us about you. What do you do? Tell me.
So first of all, thank you very much for having me, and good morning. What do I do? Well, what do I do is really simple. Growing up, we've all had things in our lives where we played sports, we did this, we did that, and we all remember that one coach that really had an impact and changed our lives. Well, what I do now is just an extension of what I did back then, or what was done to me back then, except I do it for businesses. So I am a business and executive leadership coach. And it's fantastic. I get to go out and help businesses basically achieve all of their goals, make sure they have core competencies and foundations so that they're ready to succeed. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So tell me a bit more. Is it like goal setting? Is it
Yeah.
communication skills? What is it?
You name it. So what's beautiful about this is basically I get to know each and every business owner, CEO, founder, etc. We work with you based on your needs and your challenges. So there is no set curriculum. There's no set agenda. I work for the Focal Point brand, and that was founded by Brian Tracy. And there's a huge library of modules that we can use as tools to basically help solve particular business skills. But everything is very specific to the audience, the client, and their specific needs. Some clients will really focus on strategic planning. They really want to make sure that they have the outlook and capability to grow the business, and more importantly, have the core processes underneath them to scale when revenue and everything else picks up. Others are really focused on team building.
Okay.
They want to make sure that they have, the proper set of skills, people, attitude, and communication styles within their teams, so they can build that cohesion and kind of keep people together. Point being, it's really up to the client's needs and challenges. So the way I like to do it is I like to go out and meet, talk, really get to understand what's driving them, what is their why, who are the clients they're serving, and more importantly, what are their challenges, what are their needs, and then based on that, we have discussions.
Okay.
My job is to be an active listener and ask really great questions, because the business owners are the SMEs, right? The subject matter experts of their own business. I'm just the one who sits here and helps to facilitate, drive action, accountability, and awareness. And it's extremely fulfilling.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And you're quite right. It is about asking those good questions.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise they're just stuck in their box, and this is the way to be. And it actually, if you get them to think again, well, what would it be like if you did this?
That's one of my favorite questions,
Okay,
right?
yeah, and I wonder
Tell me
this.
more.
Yeah,
What does
tell me more.
what does this look like for you, right? If we're able to solve X, Y, and Z, what will this do for you, right? What does this open up? What would you invest in? How would this change your business? And Claudia, what's fascinating is a lot of the times when you're able to have breakthroughs in the business world, people start to reflect and take that information, their styles, how they're communicating, things that they're just noticing with, and how they're interacting in their everyday business life. They
Mhm.
take that home, and they start to make some of those really simple corrections and changes at home. So now I'm not only impacting a business and business owner, right? I'm not only empowering them to take back their time so that they're not spending 65 plus hours a week at work, or sending emails at midnight, right? They're spending more time at home with the families, and that's exactly why we all do what we do, right? It's to better ourselves, better our environments, better our families. So I'm able to help the business owners, the businesses themselves, all the employees, because all that stuff funnels down, and more importantly, it's all those fabulous people on the back end that are truly supporting and propping us all up. So this is a win-win. really is for
I love it. I
everyone.
love it. I'm all about that. And you're quite right. It's about a balance, isn't it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the work, and I often do this. So I see some CEOs as well, and I do corporate workshops.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
but soft skills, like a 3 hour workshop
Yep.
on the emotional intelligence. And I draw the diagrams
Yep.
and I get oh, that's why my colleague behaves like that. Oh,
That's
that's why
right.
my dad treated me like this.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay. And then, oh, maybe that's why I still do that as well. Oh, and then with
Yeah.
all that awareness, then it just helps. And of course, always it's like sometimes I have to invite people to imagine as though they are leaving the briefcase, if you like,
Mhm.
at the tree or at the door before they step into the house. And
Absolutely.
then they can put the daddy hat on or the husband hat on, and instead of carrying their work into the house.
Claudia, it's so hard to go separate, the personal and the professional life, and we end up intermingling those constantly. So having that awareness that you spoke of is so critical. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know your business, if you don't know your clientele and those people you're trying to serve, you have zero shot of being able to focus on the avenues and aspects that are important to each one of them, but more importantly, separate one from the other so that you're not bringing that baggage, that suitcase home and impacting the lives of those that you absolutely love. So I couldn't agree with you more. We use DISC assessments and EQ assessments constantly because communication is at the forefront and that base foundational layer of everything that we do, regardless of business or industry pillar or anything like that. So I applaud your usage because I love to use that stuff as well. It's extremely, extremely important.
Yeah. And again, the other way round is that when they leave home, they pick the suitcase back up
Right.
and they leave and they take that hat off and step into their work mode.
Yeah.
And
Amazing,
it's
right?
being able to transition. So yeah. So
It's really being able to get business owners to work on the business, not for the business. That is such a powerful thing because these setting up a small business or being an entrepreneur, it's so much harder than people ever make it out to be, right? And you end up spending so much of that time and energy that it's really easy to forget about the things that are important and why you're doing it. So anyway, um,
and how do you
fantastic work.
do that? How do you at home? Have you got family? What's
Of
your
course, yes, I do. I have a beautiful wife and two lovely daughters, 10 and 13. I may cheat the system a bit because, I get to work from home. So my separation's a little bit more tricky, but really simple. Office doors.
yeah,
Office doors
yeah.
really, really help. I have my space when I'm here. I have two working partners. I have my beautiful puppies that are always here with me. But when I'm here, I'm working. I'm me. I am, you know, Coach Adam. When I step out those doors, I'm husband and daddy first.
Mhm.
And you just have to learn how to understand the constraints of how to create that separation and then the discipline to follow through on it. And it's so hard. It's so
Yeah,
hard. But that's a skill that you get better at over time
yeah.
with that magical A word that we just talked about, awareness. And
Mhm.
it's something that you can practice. So, I coach it.
Yeah, well, exactly. But you're walking the talk. You
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
and it's the same with me. Everything I help my clients with, well, actually, I have to do it as well because it's like because otherwise it wouldn't be congruent, would it?
No.
To you have to do it as well.
Listen, eating your own dog food is extremely important, right? I believe in coaching so much. We have coaches ourselves. So, I get coached, which is funny because I go out and I help others, but I have a few individuals that help me. I'm a firm believer that mentoring is something that you do your entire life on both sides. You receive and give. This was not my first calling in life. I spent 20 years in high tech software. And what I came to find out is I've been coaching my entire life. You know, I've been doing it in my prior, work life. I did it in my younger years when I was coaching basketball and soccer teams and whatnot, but it's something that I naturally was drawn to. And being a great leader is fantastic. There's some of the greatest kind of joys that I've had in life is being able to foster and grow teams and really get the most out of my people. But it made for a really natural transition into coaching because this is now what I love doing. And when you love to do something and you can wake up and bring the same passion and joy, and more importantly, Claudia, be able to share that over a platform like this, like through Zoom,
I can feel
it's
it. I can feel it.
it's infectious and
I'm
it's
so in
great.
there. I'm so there with you because I used to coach lacrosse and
Yeah.
netball at school. When I was younger as well as a teenager, I would
Mm.
teach the younger ones lacrosse, and then it was and then as a young adult, actually I wasn't that young, but because I'm like really old now. It was I was teaching netball at the we call them primary schools, elementary
Hmm.
school
Sure.
level, and and I loved it. And it's all about that passion and getting people going and the excitement.
Yeah.
And again, I'm training what I do to other therapists and coaches and anybody who sees children to
Mm.
help them
Okay.
over past significant emotional events, and and it's like it's so exciting, and I just love it. And it's that
Yeah.
passion, and you have it, and you can feel
Oh, I
it
thank you. Thank
across
you. I
across
try. I certainly try, right? Listen, if it was forced, it wouldn't come off as being genuine. It wouldn't resonate with people. And a lot of our job is making the relationships and making connections with people because everyone wants to be heard, right? And in order to be heard, once again, you have to be an active listener, but you have to be engaged, right? I love how this is organic and spontaneous because if this was something that was rehearsed, we wouldn't have this type of chemistry back and forth and just, banter. It wouldn't be fun, right? And
yeah,
so I have that firm belief that within coaching sessions, it's great to have a plan because agendas are awesome, right? Block scheduling is awesome, structure is great, but you have to have that freedom and flexibility to bounce around. And as the conversation changes, as you're listening to the responses from clients, well, you may uncover, and I typically do, that the root cause of some of their issues or their concerns is never what they think it is, right?
yeah, the issue is never the issue.
Right? I mean, we always love to focus on how can I grow and how can I increase revenue. And don't get me wrong, extremely vital pieces of information there. But if that's not really at the heart of what's their main problem, it doesn't matter how much revenue we end up growing. Those base problems are still there. So what I like to do is I like to take a holistic view and we get to the crux of the main issues that are really stopping and impeding people from helping themselves in growing, right? I'm just the conduit to help kind of focus and channel those efforts. And once again, a little bit of accountability goes a long way because people are really bright and smart. You have to just put that trust and that confidence back in them so that they can see that and they can start to learn from your practices and your teachings so that they can start doing these things on their own.
Yeah, I
And
love it. I love it
it's
because as
great.
soon as they start to take responsibility for their own just little quirks or things that they do
Yeah.
within the business, then it's like they go, oh, actually,
Epiphany, right?
yes, the light
Yes.
bulb moments. Oh,
Yeah.
it's actually not everybody else that needs to change. Maybe it's
It's
me.
me. It's me. And that
And
is a really hard conversation to have, but one of the most fulfilling because you literally see the eyes just widen, right?
yeah,
And people are constantly shocked when I make the bold statement of I look forward to that day when you let me go. And they're
yes,
like,
yes,
what does that mean? And I'm like, that means I've done my job, Claudia. That means
yeah,
that we have made so much
yeah.
progress that you feel comfortable,
Mm,
you know, putting into putting these principles into practice on your own. We can circle back in 3, 6, 9 months. Great. I'm a sounding board forever, but that's such a good feeling when you know that you've made such an impact on someone else's life that they have now moved on and they're changing for the better. And they can start to then be true leaders. And true leaders don't just lead themselves, they train the next generation of leaders who then subsequently push that one forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know that you've made a true impact on a leader's life and their career.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so into everything that you've just said. I agree
Why,
100%.
thank you.
So
Because that would be really awkward if if we were on different pages,
it'd
right?
be really
Adam, you're
interesting
wrong.
if I didn't. I could have just played devil's advocate, but yeah,
I'm
so
all for that too, right?
but yeah, no, I do. I completely agree with it. And that's exactly what I do,
Yeah,
with my clients. It's I empower them. I give them the techniques and strategies, the tools to do this themselves, because I do not want to disable people and
right.
they have to rely on me. No, I want them to go, oh, and then just give them a few things that they can do. No, because I do give a lot of techniques and strategies, and they're not for everybody.
Mm,
There'll always be one different one over another one. And they go, yeah, that's the one that works for me. All right, go,
right,
great. Okay. And
right.
then, and like you say, I'm good now. And in fact, and I do check in. Sometimes I don't actually. But they often will join my Facebook group. So I know they're okay. But
Yeah,
again, sometimes and they're always, I never mind if anybody gets in contact with me
of course
ever.
not.
I
Of
just
course
go,
not.
this is happening. And I go, what about, do you remember that recording, that we did? Could do that? What about that tool? Are you using that? Or this
Right,
is on my YouTube now. And they go, oh yeah, great, thanks. Because again, I'm encouraging them
right.
to manage these things themselves, because that is what it's about, because as you like me know that life is like that.
Yes.
Can't stop that.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
there are ups and downs, right?
yeah, I can't stop that happening, but it's how they manage it that counts.
Yeah.
And if they have all these, this foundation, then they can do it. And that's what you're doing with with what you do with the businesses.
I've
Love
got
it.
a line I like to use, which is good people helping good people is the basis of building great relationships. And that's what I feel like I try to do on a daily basis with anyone that I'm meeting. Any of the network events that I attend, whether they be virtual or online, if I can find good people and I can help good people, then I'm doing my part in fostering, you know, a great basis for a relationship and hopefully a springboard to people achieving their own goals. Because sometimes, Claudia, it's we know what we want, but we don't know how to get there. And you
Yeah.
just need that initial push, right? Get that inertia and get things moving. And then it's like, okay, some sporadic maintenance here and there, but you're on your way. And business can be such a daunting task. You can have a bad week, a bad month, a bad quarter, and it starts to really weigh on you, right? And you start making reactionary decisions that may be out of line with your core values, your strategic goals, or more importantly, just how you want to present yourself to the overall public. It's really nice to be able to have an outside check and balance to kind of keep you online so that you're actually working towards the most critical goal that you need in order to meet your success criteria, right? So goal setting extremely important, setting KPIs so that you can measure your progress and your growth, and then having that kind of barometer to circle back and double check on how am I doing. It's critical to the business success because if not, it can be so overwhelming.
Yeah. And that's why I like stretchy goals,
Mm,
because we've just said life happens, and sometimes there is a crisis, a family crisis, whatever, what that.
sure.
And if they've written that goal that they wanted to say meet
Ah,
that goal by the end of October, and it's not going to happen, but it could still happen by the end of December. But it's like, then it needs to be stretched. That goal needs to be
mhm.
stretchy, because otherwise they may feel as though they failed.
You just said something and you saw me light up and it was very simple. Write it down.
Yep.
If you don't write down your goals, if they're not tangible, if there's not something that you can refer back to, um, your likelihood of attaining them goes way down. So I like to do two things. I have a core values, right? This is something that's just important to me. It has nothing to do with anything else, but this is what I stand for. It's printed out. It's sitting right next to my desk. I look at it every day. Before every conversation I have, I look at those core values. Now, on one of my 9,000 monitors that are on my my desk here, my background is all of my key goals. And on one monitor, it is my key goals for the month. On the next monitor is my key goal for the quarter. But between all of those three things, my short-term goals, my quarter goals, and my core values, that's how I keep myself aligned with what I'm trying to do. So if I find myself working on tasks or items that do not align with one of those three screens, it's a real good check for myself that I should kind of reevaluate what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and is this really the best thing for me? It's a real simple story. It's a real simple use of my technology, but it's something that resonates with a lot of business owners and CEOs and founders because they can really start to lose themselves in all the chaotic mess because we're people, we're messy. Business fluctuates. There's always challenges that come in from every single direction. Keeping yourself and your actions and all of the actions of those underneath you grounded and all moving in the same direction, that's how you build efficiency and optimization, right? It's
Yeah.
not hard, but it can be.
Yeah, and you've got to be focused. Every morning I have to say or when I'm on task with something, because it's like, because I can be a little bit, squirrelish.
We all
It's
can.
I have to go focus, focus, focus.
Right.
And that's what I have to say to myself to actually do it. But yeah, I've got like little notes all over the place. You really would
Are
love
you
it.
a post-it note queen?
Well, they're sort of like, I think they're a bit messier than that, actually. I'd be
See,
embarrassed. I'd be
I
embarrassed to share with my desk.
Oh, so there's a reason why you don't see my desk. You see my whiteboards and my things. No, my desk is a nightmare, but it is organized chaos. I love to go tell my wife, don't touch it because I know where everything is.
Yes. I think
It may not look like it, but I do.
But yes, but however, going back to, I do think sometimes in life we do need to give, there's something stretchy.
Of course.
Stretchy goals, because there's if somebody feels as though they're failing, and I do see a lot of people who always have that negative self-belief, because that's what I'm there for. It's that where they just literally are stuck, and they can't move on because of. So I help people with those things, those really awful intrusive thoughts of I'm not good enough. What's the point
That's
of
fantastic.
starting? What I'm not worthy. I'm not good at, there's just so much negative.
All that can just seep in. Yep.
And it's generally not always, but generally from childhood. And it's so that's what I do. And
that's
so
fantastic.
Then that can be released, and then they can, move on. And then yes, probably work with somebody like yourself. Because
hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I don't generally do the business stuff. It's because it's too long. I'm like the real nitty gritty.
Short sprints.
Yeah, people average see me like 5 sessions, and then they move on. But I'm always there just in case something else, that when that bit goes down there. But yeah, no, I could talk to you all day, but we have to stop.
Okay, fine.
I know, there you go. But I mean, well, I'll have you back on here again, because
I'd be happy to, Claudia. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
I know, and you see, I didn't even know that that's what you did. It was just like, so it's all good fun.
We can have a great time next time too. I guarantee it.
There you go. So anyway, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
Adam Geheb. Thank you very much.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.